You're watching the Business Channel, creating business class programs.
I think what's going on in Brazil and the scale of the change is enormous. This is a large country anyway, of course, a market of nearly 200 million people. It's a market that's seen considerable growth in recent years. It's very well endowed with natural resources, both in terms of oil and gas and agribusiness, all sorts of natural resources. And so this is a country that's going to do well over the next generation, and this creates a huge market opportunity. They have national ambitions to upgrade their infrastructure. You have an emerging middle class with more and more ability to spend above some pure subsistence level, becoming affluent. No surprise, they want the same kinds of things that everybody else does when they become affluent. And so the opportunities to provide goods and services that meet their lifestyle aspirations are there, growing fast. Strengthening the flow of business between Britain and Brazil is, first of all, it's a very important objective for us. This is such a big market. We want to make sure that we showcase what Britain has to offer as effectively as we can. It's about a variety of things. The government engaging with the government at both ends. The development of groups of British businesses whom we support visiting Brazil so that they can market their products and services. Just generally encouraging more and more British businesses to get out to Brazil and see the way in which the country is changing and developing. I think the opportunities for British business lie in a number of sectors in Brazil. The oil and gas sector, of course, given what's going on in the offshore deep water drilling opportunity, in financial services, in the sports industry, of course, given the commitment to host the World Cup in 2014 and the Olympics in 2016. There's a major opportunity there. In the fashion industry, I mean, it's a very broad-based market with a lot of appetite for branded international goods, and what they see in Britain is a country with a very high degree of technological expertise, quality products, high degree of creativity, and they like the way British companies do the business. So we're very welcome there. I think that hosting the World Cup and the Olympics is a huge commitment for Brazil in general and Rio de Janeiro in particular. The opportunity to engage and help British companies engage, particularly as we come out of the experience of running the Olympics ourselves. We have a host of British companies who have developed an expertise in complex international sporting events that we now want to make sure is marketed around the world, actually, of course, but there's no place that's more important in the near and medium term than Brazil because of the World Cup and the Olympics. If you want a serious opportunity to gain serious business in Brazil, first of all, you have to think long term. This isn't going to happen overnight. Secondly, you probably need to work with partners. In many cases, it's better to work with a partner as you develop the business. And thirdly, you've got to get out and around the country, and it's a very large country. So you do need to think big, but you've got to be realistic. This is a commitment and a journey for most companies going into the market, which will require investment of time and effort and a long-term focus. I don't think this is a market just for major players. It is a market, of course, for major players, and we have some very major British names invested there and doing business there, but it's also a market where there are lots of opportunities for medium-sized and smaller companies as well. If you think of the oil and gas sector, for example, the deep sea opportunity that exists offshore from Brazil now is one which plays to the strengths of British companies engaged in the North Sea. We have world-class experience of dealing with deep sea technology, and this is very often quite small companies. So it's certainly not a question of just the majors. It's important to think about the ways in which this is going to be funded, or the credit insurance provided. And what we have in the government stable is UK Export Finance, which exists in order to provide the guarantee support for a market like Brazil, an emerging market. We have significant cover available for Brazil. We have a credit line that was negotiated with Petrobras specifically for the oil and gas sector. And therefore, the opportunity to de-risk the decision financially is there. And working with banks, UKEF is very willing to engage with companies as they seek to find the finance to support their business opportunity as they go to Brazil. it's wise to take advice, to take some guidance. That's what UK Trade and Investment is there for. They are there to help de-risk the decision, help you find the way forward, help you be aware of the pitfalls, and in any country that you're not familiar with, there'll be some pitfalls. It's important to be aware of those. That's what UK Trade and Investment is there for, to put you in touch with the right kinds of support. Often that's finance. In many cases, it makes sense to think in terms of forming a partnership in the local market, in Brazil in this case. Again, UKTI is there to help you find the right kind of partner, doing the market research, doing the market, sussing the market out. These are all the obvious steps that you have to take. But the evidence is that companies that think carefully about this find there is a very big prize there, so long as they're prepared to make the longer term commitment, to invest the time and effort into understanding the market that they're getting into. It's a fascinating market. It's fast changing, it's great fun, it's very resilient. There's a lot of potential in it. And so is it worth taking the risk of the first step? It absolutely is.